Detroit Lions fans, Detroit Den 313 here. Just Will flying solo today. Gonna talk some Detroit Lions football, but before we do, you always know once you hit the subscribe button, it helps the channel out tremendously. And think about becoming a member because you can win some free stuff if you become a member. I know you guys have been struggling with our lack of giving away the free stuff because Steve and I's schedules are absolutely crazy, but I got good news for you. Good news for you. That problem, for lack of a better word, has been solved because football season for me and the kids is over. So I'm gonna have a lot more time, and my schedule is gonna be a little bit more open for to come on here and to bang out some stuff, some more Detroit Lions content, and to get together with Steve and do those giveaways. So get ready for that. And just staying on that same token, that same boat, for those who don't know, you see that little corner, you see that at the bottom, we are now available on Spotify. One thing that I'll commit to, even if I have to do it myself, is if you comment here and you comment on Spotify, we're going to get together this week and I'm going to give you one of these. Not mine. I won't give you mine, but you know I'm the hat king. I'm gonna give away a hat, man, just for being subscribed here and being subscribed on Spotify. So before I will commit to before the Detroit Lions play on Sunday, I will give away a free hat to someone that is subscribed here and subscribed on Spotify. I'll tell you exactly how to do that in the next episode. But moving on. A couple episodes ago, right before I even get into it, and I got something good that I got cooked up today. I want to have a conversation about something, a question that was posed to me. I think it's a little bit controversial, maybe, but I thought it was a good question about the Detroit Lions and a big problem that I believe the Detroit Lions have to chasing a Super Bowl. It's not that we can't do it, but I think that it's definitely a huge barrier for us. But that's what we're going to get into on the back end today. But before we do that, I do want to talk about something, man. I did say that football season ended for me and my youth team as well as high school for myself and my son. Taj, man, it was the last hurrah. He had his banquet last night, so that's why I'm completely freed up, man. And yes, he is that much taller than me. My boy's 6'4". He's huge. Definitely definitely dwarfs me. But finally got a couple of offers. I know a lot of coaches, and I definitely appreciate you guys because I just love the banter that I get to have when coaches hit me up, whether it's on Twitter or you guys get into the comments here. I just feel like it's just a different level of banter that we get to have. So I really appreciate you guys. But being that I know you're here, if you're looking for an outside linebacker, give Taj a shout. If you go to my X page, he's linked there. His senior highlights are linked there. So go ahead and check him out. But I think the Detroit Lions have a major issue, and we're going to talk about that before I do. Online is just such I'll say, interesting place. Interesting place. A couple of episodes ago, I got vulnerable, guys. I got vulnerable and I opened up the doors to just I don't want to say a medical procedure. I'll say a medical checkup that was just thrown upon me. And I can't believe the amount of comments that I got or DMs on Twitter that I got about that thing. Some people just, hey man, that's something that you need to do, man, whatever. And then some people saying that that physical portion of my body made their day. I don't really know how I feel about that, but I guess I appreciate the comments because you guys did make me laugh. You guys are hilarious. I don't know. Maybe I need to start keeping those things close to the vest because there was a lot of feedback and stuff I got from that. But moving on, I had a conversation with a football guru, somebody that I've been watching football with since probably my first football game being watched because we had a family get together at my grandparents' house every single Saturday and Sunday. That University of Michigan and the Detroit Lions were playing. We were at the grandparents' house. My grandma and was getting the food together, and the family was meeting over there. So I was having a conversation with my grandmother. We're talking about the Detroit Lions. Grandmother, I call her grandmommy, 94 years old, just a wealth of knowledge, right? I'm having a conversation with her, and she's like, "Aren't the Lions doing good this year?" I just don't understand why you're upset. Aren't they winning? they've only been winning the past couple of seasons. Like, you guys are spoiled. Why are you so upset with the Detroit Lions season if they're winning the way that they are? And it made me have to do a little bit of reflection, because I'm looking and I'm like, man, as I look here, they're 6-4. All right, so it's not like they're even 500. They're having success. Uh, why am I so upset? Right? Now, I will say the rest of the division is doing well as well. So we look at the only one that's really, and they're still playing decent football. Minnesota Vikings 4-6, but then you got Green Bay at 6-3, and then you got the Chicago Bears at 7-3. So it's not like the Detroit Lions are just a terrible football team. Shoot, if you told me that this was our outlook 5-10 years ago, I'm ecstatic. So am I? Am I overcooking the grits here? Am I being uh, just a stickler, splitting hairs, just over exaggerating, overreacting is really what I'm looking for to what's going on right now. And as I thought about that, I came to a conclusion, a humbling conclusion of absolutely not. Absolutely not, Grandmommy. I know why I'm pissed off, and I know why it's not enough. And I got one word for you: consistency. Consistency. Uh, I do appreciate the question, because it did make me think, and I did have to do a little bit of reflecting of, hey, hold on, wait a second. Why am I so frustrated about what the Detroit Lions got going on? The defense is playing phenomenal football. Coach Shep has been nothing but a home run. But this offense has been an absolute roller coaster since training camp. Since training camp. Got the opportunity to see him a couple of times in training camp. Up and down, peaks and valleys. Never looked comfortable. Everything that came out of training camp from the beat writers was the defense was ahead. I got on and I talked about that. I talked about what I saw at practice, and people hammered me saying, hey, the defense is always ahead of the offense. There's nothing to worry about here. This offense is phenomenal. And I still got people talking about, hey, we're averaging uh, 33 points a game, and this is one of the best offenses in the league, and the list goes on. Every excuse underneath the sun on why we shouldn't be worried about the offense. Well, Coach Campbell's worried about the offense because he took over the play calling. So maybe myself and Steve was onto something with having some concerns and being a little bit frustrated with the offense, paper cutting people to get check down kings. You know what I mean? Like it hasn't been explosive plays until Coach Campbell took that thing and started put them glasses on and started calling those plays. But still, I just feel the Detroit Lions, we've had offensive success. We've had explosive plays now. We had just an absolute massacre of the Chicago Bears. But it seems like we'll have a week of good offense, then we'll be down. Maybe 2 weeks of good offense, and then we'll be down. What has me the most frustrated from the Detroit Lions is the lack of consistency. You need consistency to be successful at anything. Right? You need to consistently show up to the gym if you really want to see results. Right? You need to consistently perform at a high level if you want to be successful at anything. I don't know what I'm going to get out of the Detroit Lions at any given week. I don't know if we're going to be the team that's going to have crazy explosive plays. We're going to put up 40 points and this offense is going to be lights out, or if we're going to be the team that showed up against the Minnesota Vikings, who are sitting at 4-6. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know if I'm going to get a spook Jared Goff that uh, is very uncomfortable with people when people get around him, or if I'm going to get a dude going 23 of 23 and with a perfect QB rating. I don't know what I'm going to get on any given football day. I won't say Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, whatever day we're playing. On any given football day, football game for the Detroit Lions, I have no idea what that offense is going to do. Got a strong idea what that defense is going to do. And we got guys coming back. I mean, I keep seeing the hype all week. DJ Reed might be coming back. I'm happy for DJ Reed, but this defense has been playing regardless of the circumstance. What Coach Dungy say? No excuses, no explanations. The defense has been holding to that standard. People want to talk to me about this offensive line. So what? I've seen quarterbacks go out with second-tier offensive linemen and still be successful. You have to find a way. I don't want to hear about offensive line issues because there's the way to get around those things. I watched the Philadelphia Eagles game. I watched those guys, that D-line, when they couldn't get to Jared Goff. You could obviously see that the plan was to run the ball and get that quick game going. When we tried to get that ball out quick, the ball was getting batted down. I can't remember how many batted down passes they had, but they had a bunch. There's ways for those offensive linemen to keep those D linemen's hands down. Right? And there's ways to step left, step right, get outside of that tackle box, and be able to deliver that football to get it out there in that quick game. We just didn't do it. We need to be better moving forward. Coach Campbell even stated that. Consistency. I need to see consistency from the Detroit Lions if we are going to have big-time success. I think about all of these teams that I've watched over the years that have just been super fun to watch. Rams being one of them, right? Greatest show on turf, right? I think of Steve Air McNair, right? And what the Tennessee Titans were doing for a while, just lighting up the scoreboard. But when it came down to it, they could not get over the hump. And I know that the Rams did it one time, but for that offense that they had a nice little window of time to where they had Akeem, Isaac Bruce, Kurt Warner, Marshall Faulk, the list goes on. Right? They had all of those weapons, and they were lighting up the scoreboard, but they weren't dominating when it came to that postseason, right? They weren't getting Super Bowl, right? They found a way to get it done one time, but it wasn't Super Bowls, right? I need to see an offense that shows up every single football day, or the Detroit Lions are in trouble. Another problem that we have that I've already made mention to, but I made mention to it again. I believe that this Sam Laporta injury is a huge, huge test for Jared Goff. It's a huge test for Jared Goff. Jared Goff gets in trouble. He looks for his safety nets, one being Sam Laporta, the other being St. Brown. Well, for the time being, or a good chunk of time, Sam Laporta's gone. They keep mentioning potentially for the season. I'm hoping that that's not the case. Right? But regardless, it's going to be at least 3 more weeks. Right? What is Jared going to do when he gets into those moments where it's high stress? People are in his face. He looks to St. Brown, and St. Brown isn't open. Is the next look going to be J-Mo? Is it going to be Tesla? Is it going to be Khalif? Right? Who is it going to be? Right? Because if he doesn't have anybody, I think that this offense gets worse and gets worse fast. So it's just something to keep an eye on. I think that it's not the end of the world. But I think if you're a realist and you're not a slappy, I know people like to get on here and say, hey, man, you guys are Detroit Lions slappies. Everything is positive. We got a good freaking football team. Unfortunately, you got to be great to win Super Bowls. Looking to have a great football team. It's just not great right now. That's my 2 cents. If you think that I'm crazy, hey, let's get in the comments and let's have a little bit of banter about it. I have no issue with that. I know I have no issue with having any banter about it, but I just don't think that is great right now as a whole football team. Special teams, it isn't great. We've seen it over the whole season. Same thing since training camp. Right? So we got the 3 facets of football. Defense has been looking great. They've been doing some great stuff, even with second and third teamers and people that were on practice squads. Coach Shep, salute you, tip my hat to you. Offense, special teams, right? So I know we've had some key players banged up. We're going to get guys like Sam Laporta back. Sione Vak, he has been on and off, right? And I respect those things. But this next man up is what we preach in Detroit. If you're going to be a special team, if you're going to be a great team, if you're going to be a phenomenal team, you got to play all 3 facets of football to a high level. Complementary football is what Coach Campbell stands at that podium and says all the time. I'm not seeing it. Please Let me know how you're feeling. Do we need more consistency? Am I on from the Detroit Lions? Because we're not bad. We got weapons and we can score at any given time. We can get explosive at any given time. But do you feel like we've been consistent? Right? Am I full of stuff? Am I nuts? Right? Or am I dead on? Let me know in the comments. We'll be back with another episode.